Jehovah's Witnesses' own writings prove Jesus Christ is God. The truth is before you, undeniable, inescapable. The very materials of Jehovah's Witnesses confirm it. Jesus Christ is God. How? Because there is only one Lord of the Sabbath, and that Lord is God. Yet, Jehovah's Witnesses freely admit that Jesus is the Lord of the Sabbath, and that truth shatters their foundational belief that Jesus is a created being, merely an angel called Michael. If Jesus is Lord of the Sabbath, and the Lord of the Sabbath is God, then logic demands only one conclusion: Jesus Christ is God. Period. Let's start with Exodus 20:10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. Who does the Sabbath belong to? The Lord thy God. Not angels, not created beings. God. Now, let's move to the words of Jesus in Matthew 12:8. For the Son of Man is Lord, even of the Sabbath day. Do you see it? Exodus 20:10. The Lord of the Sabbath is God. Matthew 12:8. Jesus Christ is the Lord of the Sabbath. There is only one Lord of the Sabbath, and if that Lord is God and Jesus is that Lord, then Jesus must be God. But don't take my word for it. Let's go to the Watchtower's own materials. Watchtower Online Library. Lord confirms that Jesus referred to himself as Lord of the Sabbath. Source: Plucking Grain on the Sabbath. Jesus, the way, the truth, the life, states that Jesus corrected the Pharisees by declaring himself Lord of the Sabbath. Source: New World Translation, Study Edition. Luke 6 affirms that Jesus is called Lord of the Sabbath. Source: Watchtower Online Library. Lord reiterates that Jesus declared himself Lord of the Sabbath. Source: Questions from Readers. The Watchtower, July 15, 1982, addresses how Jesus' declaration as Lord of the Sabbath relates to divine authority. Source: Sabbath. Reasoning from the Scriptures explains Jesus' role as Lord of the Sabbath. Source: Matthew Study Notes, chapter 12 explains that Jesus calling himself Lord of the Sabbath signifies divine authority. Source: Sabbath, Watchtower Online Library. Search includes extensive discussions on Jesus as Lord of the Sabbath. Source: Matthew 12:1-50, New World Translation, Study Edition, highlights Jesus' role as Lord of the Sabbath. Source: April 16-22. Watchtower Online Library references Jesus' authority as Lord of the Sabbath. Source: Every single one of these references confirms that Jesus Christ is the Lord of the Sabbath. And Jehovah's Witnesses' own materials confirm that the Lord of the Sabbath is God. There is no escaping it, no denying it. A created being cannot be Lord of the Sabbath. That title belongs to God alone. Now, Jehovah's Witnesses, skeptics, non-believers, here's your challenge. If Jesus is only an angel, only a created being, then why is he called the Lord of the Sabbath, a title that belongs to God alone? If he is just Michael, explain how an angel can have divine authority over something that God himself declared sacred. If you reject this, you must now disprove your own materials. You must explain why your own publications confirm what you refuse to accept. Jesus Christ is God. And if you cannot, then you must face the truth. Revelation 1:8 declares, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty. Who is the Almighty? Who is the one who was, who is, and who is to come? Jesus Christ, the Lord of the Sabbath, the Creator of all things, the eternal God. Will you reject your own evidence? Will you ignore the truth written in your own books? Or will you finally acknowledge Jesus Christ for who he truly is, God Almighty? The choice is yours. Disprove this if you can.